We had our 10-year anniversary banquet, and John Fry was asking me, did you ever expect to get this far so quickly? Joking around, I said yes, but no, it was just like, you had goals, and to get to where we finished this season and what we've done the last 4 or 5 seasons of staying in the top 8, and then, the women's finishing off this season as a, runners-up is just, every time I talk about it, it's great, you get chills.
Pretty hard to start a new program, especially in a sport that's not, not as widely played. So to have the faith from, your president, your AD, at the time was Eric Zilmer, senior admin Laura White, the 3 of them, especially John Fry, all knew that investing in squash was worthwhile, and they took that leap of faith in starting the program.
This program was built organically, but it's been a long time in the making. If you think about when this building was built in 1974, they included squash courts.
So I taught squash. Eric Zilmer started seeing me, and we loved it, so we wanted other people to like it as well.
But we didn't have much activity until 2001 when Pam Endy, a civic leader, came to me and said, look, I want to start Squash Smarts. It's an urban program to use squash as a catalyst for social change. But what it did, it created a squash culture. Over time, I asked him, hey, can you help us do intramurals in squash? And then we wanted to start a club team. And then the next iteration was to build the rec center. And I had this idea and fell in love with squash. Why don't we put 2 squash courts right at the entrance? Not hide them like we did in the old PIAC, now the DAC, but right in the front. And so we completed that in 2010.
And from there, it became a situation of, hey, let's continue to grow this wonderful sport. And so at that point, John Fry came. So with President Fry and Eric, it came to a point where it was like, we can go from a club to a varsity sport.
I thought we could do it because it's very efficient. We already have the courts. And I said, I like it, but if we do it, let's do it right. And integrate it with all the other varsity sports with which we already had a lot of success.
One of my goals from when I retired, it was like I wanted to sort of start my own program from the very beginning. Summer of 2011, got a phone call from Dr. Eric Zilmer. I ended up coming here and having a chat with actually Laura and Eric, and obviously I knew John Fry was here. It was mind-boggling what they were talking about, so it was probably the best decision, and this has become my little baby of, this is where we are, and that's how it all started.
But as we went in through this, the main goal was to be relevant, and relevant in squash means top 20. Let's have a program that we can be proud of academically and athletically.
Obviously it was scary because the first 2 years and the first 5 years was, okay, let's just get completely established, and it came pretty quick of us getting inside the top 20, top 16 within the first 5 years, and then 5-6 years we're like a top 10.
You're not going to get that much success that quickly without, the environment to foster that.
Everyone respects John White because he was the number 1 in the world. So it's really nice to have that figure leading our program.
His energy is really just over the moon.
And he has a really good balance of letting us have fun when the time is right, but being strict and keeping us in line when that's what's needed as well.
It's amazing, the team camaraderie and the culture.
They're not just coming here to play squash, they're coming here to be a student first. We want them to graduate, and we want them to have a real happy family feeling.
Quality characters are attracted to the program. It creates such a positive momentum.
And this year was the tipping point when this women's team, reimagined what we could do on the court.
What happened at Nationals, it wasn't just because of the team playing right now, it's because of all the players before us, men's and women's. It's a culture that's been created here, it's a dedication the university has put into squash.
It needed that building to attract the right, talent levels, the right character levels.
As they say, build it and they will come, and we had the right leadership in place.
This program has changed my life for the better. I would not be who I am or where I am today without it.
I think the possibilities really with Drexel and Drexel Squash specifically are endless.
We're the epicenter of squash in the world, and we can support the men and women's team at Drexel for even yet better things to come.
With hard work and dedicated people, and most importantly, just a great environment to be in. It just shows how much you can achieve and how much more we can achieve.
One team is going to be the first to win the national title at Drexel.
Bye.